What's up, Squidgy Slingers? Tradman here. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. It's really much appreciated, and welcome to the traditional window cleaning YouTube channel. So today we're talking about bad payers. How do you get your money back after you've done the work for a customer and they're just taking too long to pay? What are some hints and tips about how we can try and avoid this situation and perhaps not get into it in the first place, but what to also do about it if you do? Stay tuned. Okay then folks, so today, yes indeed, we're talking about bad payers. Now, we're talking about those people who basically deliberately take too long to pay. We're not talking about those kind of people that, that are really nice, they just got really busy lives and they made an occasional genuine mistake of going over the payment period that you've perhaps set, which actually leads me nicely into tip number one, is to have a payment period. So what I'm going to do is on screen now, I'm going to bring up what I have on my business. This is my customer information form that I give to customers. Now it's very easy and basic. There's nothing too fancy to it. There's a few different headings. One of the headings though is how long do I have to pay? And each heading is in bold. Now the information after that simply in one line is company policy is that after job completion, the payment should be made within 14 days. And it's as simple and easy as that. So what we're going to do is some hints and tips today on things I would suggest trying to perhaps not get into that scenario. And if you do, what you can actually do about it. So yes, that's the first idea, is try not to get into it in the first place. So if all of your customers know that you have a payment period, that your company has a certain amount of days where you allow them to get that payment in, and obviously this will take a little bit of time for them, basically all of your customers, to kind of get to grips with this if they're regular customers, if this is a new thing that you're implementing. But if your customers are only once off kind of things, or maybe if you're in the United States or Australia or anywhere like that where jobs are once a year perhaps, then this is something that you might need to notify them each time when you go and do the job. But yes, I would definitely say have a payment period. Now, whether that's a few days, a week, a month, whatever it is that your company can get by, and however long you want to basically wait for your money. The reason we came up with 2 weeks was we felt that giving them 14 days was plenty of time to get the money in the bank and to get us paid. In this modern day and age, you've got things like online bank transfers and all that kind of stuff where people can do it in seconds from their smartphone, from their computers. But the only time this really becomes an issue is when working for commercial. Commercial jobs do tend to take their time. It has to go all through the right channels, go through the right managers, directors to sign it off and all this kind of thing. So if you've got commercial jobs, they may not adhere to your payment policy. So I'm afraid that's something that you'll have to deal with when dealing with commercial jobs. But for residential, you set the rules. So you can decide whether to carry on having that person as a customer if they don't adhere to your payment policy. Now, let's say for instance, you've given them your customer information form, like so, they've read it. You could also have on your form as well, if you want to, a little bit for them to sign as well, to say that they've actually seen it, and then they keep a copy and you keep a copy. So basically, they've got this payment policy, they know you're allowing, we're going to use the one I use, which is 14 days. For instance, they've gone over 14 days. What do you do next? Well, the next thing that you would do is kindly and in a friendly way notify them and remind them that they have an outstanding balance. Now, the ways to do this, you can do it via text message or email. That's quite a nice easy way because it doesn't require much of your time. Or you can actually physically phone them up and speak to them in person. But obviously that will require a bit of more time out of your schedule to do that, especially if you have a few people to have to phone. Now, personally, for our business, we use the Squeegee app, which we'll leave in the link below. You'll see that's what we use for our business. And it's really nice and easy when it comes to trying to get your money from your customers, because what it does, it allows you to send notifications and emails reminding them of their outstanding balance within seconds. So all you have to do on the Squeegee app is to click on your owing section, and that'll bring up everybody that's owed you money. And if you've set on Squeegee app say for instance the payment period to 14 days, it will show you everybody that's gone over 14 days. So you can click and select which ones you want to remind and then send out those notifications. So we've sent out the notifications, they've received them, and you've still not got your money in the bank. What do you do now? Well, the next thing to do, you might, if you've not already yet, is to phone them. If you've only sent a text message or an email, the next step, personally, I would do is to phone them and actually speak to somebody. But sometimes trying to get them on the phone can be quite difficult. A lot of us work, a lot of us are busy, so trying to get people on the phone is not always easy. So if you don't get them on the phone, do remember and leave a voicemail message to remind them of their balance, that they are outstanding. Now, we've phoned them, we've texted them or emailed them, and the money's still not come in. It's getting rather frustrating now, isn't it? Well, what do you do now? Well, the next thing I would personally suggest is possibly a written letter. Okay, so you obviously know their address and you know their name and all the details and all that kind of stuff. So a nice official letter, still being polite, being professional, but at the same token reminding them of your terms and conditions and that they've now gone over that and have been since from whatever date till now. It's quite important that if you're going to write a letter, you put the dates on the letter which the job was completed and also the dates that you've been reminding them. So say for instance you did it on the 1st of the month, you sent them a text on the 15th of the month, you called them on the 20th of the month, and you're now writing a letter to them on the 30th of the month, say for instance. Now they've got this letter and they've now got dates and details of when you've done the job and tried to contact them. So it looks professional and it looks like you know what you're talking about. So they've received the letter and hopefully by this stage your money's come in the bank. But if it hasn't, then this is where we come into a bit of a problem. Because legally, yes, you can go through the court system, but obviously that can be quite costly. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an absolute legal expert. I only know so much. If you want to get into how the court system works, especially where you live, you're going to have to do your own research, I'm afraid. But here what we have is the small claims court. So if you wanted to, you could perhaps take that customer to small claims court if you feel that it's going to be worth it. For me, if it's quite a low amount of money, what I will normally do is just write off that customer and also claim it back off of my tax bill at the end of the year as an expense of money, lost earnings, basically. You can do that, or you can in the UK anyway, but let me know if that's something that you can do where you live. So yes, if it's a small amount, I just write it off and try and claim my money back off my tax bill. But at the end of the day, it's still not as good as trying to get that money in your pocket. But what if it's quite a large amount? Say we're talking perhaps hundreds and hundreds of pounds, if not thousands of pounds, then that is where you're going to have to start going into legal action. So you might obviously have to contact the relevant authorities and get information on what you can do, what the next legal process is. But I'd really like to hear in the comments below from you watching this at home. If you yourself have had this problem, have you ever had to go through the legal system to try and get money back from your customer? If you let us know in the comments box below, that'd be really good. It'd be nice to hear your stories and hear what things have happened to you in your business. But hopefully it doesn't come to that stage. Hopefully you get your money leading up to this point. You've phoned, you've texted, you've emailed. Hopefully some of these things and a letter will work for you and you can get that money recouped off of doing that job. But it is a frustrating one, especially in the window cleaning business. It is one of those annoying things that I'm afraid you have to get used to as a self-employed business. But personally, I found, especially when I implemented this and I told them how long they had to pay, the amount of people that were late drastically went down. From almost, I would say, about 30 to 35% of my customers being regularly late to, I would say, under 10% of my customers being late. So it's made a huge difference in how our business operates. I very rarely have to try and, as the term goes, chase for my money. So it's really good because that means I've got a good customer relationship and they know that they can trust me to pay on time and I know that I can trust them to pay on time. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. Please, like I say, leave your comments in the box below on experiences that you yourself have had in trying to recoup money from your customers and how you go about doing it. Now keep it friendly. We don't suggest anything like egging windows or dirtying windows. We don't do that here, do we? No, we don't do that. We don't just hide the eggs. No, we don't. don't throw eggs. As much as it's tempting, I'm sure you've worked hard, you've earned that money, and you're slightly tempted to go and dirty a window. Take that, you bandit. But no, this is not how we do it. Professionalism at all times, friendly at all times, so there's nothing can come back on you at the end of the day. So thank you very much for tuning in. It is really much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be good, and bye for now.